Hi, how are you guys doing? I hope that you guys are having a great Saturday. Shabbat Shalom for all of our kingdom people that may be watching. And I just want to talk a little bit more about the art of activism. After looking at a very disturbing video about Regan Russell, who was an activist for pigs in Canada, I guess that there are Canadian plants that mistreat pigs. I'm not sure if she was a vegan or not, but I'm sure that vegans all over the world just really loved her because they're against the slaughter of any kind of animals anyway for human consumption purposes. Anyway, these pigs were being transported into these plants before they were being killed, slaughtered as you do, and made into bacon, sausage, pork chops, or whatever. And they exposed supposedly inhumane, they called it, conditions that the pigs were subjected to prior to their being slaughtered, brought to these slaughterhouses and being slaughtered. Now, here's my thing. They're pigs. Regan Russell, I think, was 60, 50s, 60s. I think she was 62. Very beautiful, statuesque lady. What they would do, the protesters, they would get in front of these slaughterhouse plant, the trucks, and while the entranceway where the trucks are going into with the pigs, they will block the trucks. The protesters will literally block the trucks sometimes to make the trucks stop before they go into the slaughterhouse. And the trucks were, like these trucks that transport live animals. They have, the little slots where you could actually see the animals. You could touch the animals, blah, blah, blah. So they will make the truck stop. They will, be in the street and stop the trucks, make the truck stop so that they can go to the trucks and feed water, and pet the pigs and tell them how much they love them and all of this stuff. And they said, we're exposing the inhumane conditions that pigs are being subjected to before they're brought to these plants and slaughtered. Okay, but they're pigs. And anyway, a few times when they recorded these protests, there was a lot of protesters that was like, oh my God, I almost got hit. Oh my God, I almost got hit. Okay, why not get out the way and let them do their job? Right? Trucks, I don't know if a lot of people understand about trucks. And I've dated a truck driver and I've known truck drivers. And trucks are not the easiest things to operate. And if they're moving, they're hard to stop. And the faster that they're going, the harder it is and the longer it takes for them to stop. So it's not like a regular car. If you're going 50, 60 miles per hour on the highway and you have to come to a halt, it's not going to take as much to stop a car as it does an 18-wheeler truck that's going 50 or 60 or more miles per hour. So even if a truck is going 10, 20 miles per hour, it's going to take a little bit more distance and a little bit more force to stop a truck. So you're putting your life in danger. You're putting your body in the street, somehow talking about, hey, stop, I want to give the pigs water before they get slaughtered. Every day that you're doing this, you're putting your life at risk. Human beings. In protest to how pigs are being treated. Nothing against this Regan Russell lady. I mean, this happened one day, and I guess there was an understanding amongst most truck drivers that the truck drivers, when they see the protesters, the truck drivers will stop and let the people pet the pigs and feed the pigs water. And I love you, little piggy. I'm so sorry that you're going through this. This is the type of stuff that was going on. But this particular truck driver, this one day, apparently something happened and he hit Regan Russell. She was in the street, but he stopped, but then he kept going. And he hit her and dragged her for 50 feet, severing her body in half. So she put her life in danger, and her life tragically ended in front of her protester friends and all of these people to try to stop to protest on how pigs are being treated. And she died tragically and horribly. And now she's a martyr for people who are against pigs being slaughtered all over the world because she gave her life for the pigs. But pigs are still being slaughtered. We could still go to any store and get bacon. I don't eat bacon. I eat turkey bacon, but I don't eat swine bacon. We could go to any store and get a pork chop or sausage. But she died in protest. I know y'all gonna get mad at me. George Floyd. All of the people, all my people, God rest their souls, who died. George Floyd didn't die in protest, but all the people who have died because of racist people, okay? And they start revering all these people, justice for this one and justice for that one. But the stuff is still going on. And now we have protesters that are actually dying, whether they're part of BLM protest or whatever type of protest or individual independent protests. We're finding that more and more protesters are dying out there now. And it's not like the protest is stopping anything. Yes, we do. I can't speak for the Canadian protest that ended Regan Russell's life in Canada. But I can say in the United States of America, it's supposed to be a constitutional right that we can peacefully protest. The problem with that is that the protesters, are not the only people and not the only thing that determines if a protest is going to be peaceful or not. Because at every protest, there's going to be protesters against the protesters. Okay? At every protest, there's going to be people that's not for what the people are protesting against. So then they come out and they feel like they could protest against them. And invariably what ends up happening is there's a clash of the people who are for the cause and the people that are against the cause. Just like with the election. There are people who are protesting how the election turned out. And there are some people who are protesting that the people are protesting how the election came out. So there's always going to be a pro and a con. There's always going to be an A and a B. There's always going to be foes and friends. And so the problem is with the protest now is that people don't know how to peacefully protest. Just like people don't know how to peacefully disagree. If people can't peaceably disagree, what makes you think they can peaceably protest? Make sense? So you could do all the right things. You could have all the protections in place. You can have the police. You can have the National Guard. You can have this one. You can have that one. You can have a conceal and carry. You can know how to shoot. You can do this. You can do that. But there's always going to be somebody that's going to show up that's not down for what you're down for. So then it's going to be a clash. So then it's no longer a peaceful protest. It becomes a war. So the question now becomes, even though we have a constitutional right to peacefully protest, is it wise and safe to do so? Is it doing anything? Is peacefully protesting changing anything? It's not. Regan Russell's body was cut in half by a truck running over her. And her protest And her and her friends protest against pigs being slaughtered and treated in inhumane conditions before being slaughtered. But we still have swine being sold in the store. BLM protests, and I don't mean to just point out BLM protests because there are all kinds of protests. There are protests, there's the Proud Boys, there's the Antifa, there's all these little side groups and these militia groups and these non-militia groups and these independent groups and these whatever groups that are having protests and meetings and formations, whatever you want to call them. But there's always going to be somebody that's going to show up that's not down for the cause and that's going to try to cause confusion. Therefore, it renders the peaceful protest an unpeaceful protest. And the question becomes, is it worth it? Is it wise to even be a part of a protest if people won't let you peacefully protest? Personally, I say it's not wise, which is why I don't go out there no more. It's not fear, it's called wisdom. I'm not going out there to peaceful, even though my intentions may be to be peaceful and to peacefully protest, your intentions may not be. So then I have to look out for me because I'm not going to die for a cause and you still doing what you're doing. Regan Russell's death was totally in vain, as is a lot of activists who have died protesting. Their deaths have been in vain. If you're a martyr for anything except for the kingdom of Yah, your death is in vain. And that sounds cold-hearted and mean, but it's the truth. Now, everybody's going to do what they want to do, and everybody's going to be down for a cause, and everybody's going to protest, and everybody's going to be a part of something, because there's a lot of evil in the world today that people can protest and march against and protest against. And truth be told, we've been marching and protesting since I've been alive, since before I've been alive, okay? But evil men wax worse and worse. The love of many still wax cold, no matter how much marching and protesting goes on, because that's not the answer. And it took me all year to realize that. And it really solidified it for me when I saw that video about that lady who died. Her body was severed for a cause that she really was down for. But it was for nothing because we still selling pigs, y'all. Get the message. Learn the lesson. Get plugged into the kingdom of Yah. Make your life mean something. That's where we find our true purpose. And if it come down to you having to lay down your life, if you're in the kingdom of Yah, at least it'll mean something. You know what I'm saying? I can't say that meant anything, and that's so sad to me. It's very, very sad. Find out what your Yah-given purpose is and get plugged into that. I know that it's tempting to want to be a part of something and be in activism. People say, you need to do something. You need to do something. And they're the ones edging you on to do something until they're the ones being shot to death. They're the ones whose body's being severed by a truck. They're the ones being, end up missing. And for what? For what? So you can become a hashtag? But the problem is still here. It's still going on. And it's getting worse. So what is it for? Tell me. Find your Yah-given purpose and get plugged into that and do what he said to do. Let it mean something. Let your life mean something. Not just so people can applaud you. You could be a hashtag and you could be worshipped all over the world and they can have all kind of protests and marches for you. That doesn't mean anything. I'm sorry, it doesn't. I don't mean any disrespect to those who passed, but at the end of the day, their deaths mean absolutely nothing. That's all I have to say. Take it or leave it. Be safe. Be wise. Find out what your purpose in Yah is. And let your life mean something. Peace.